It's also fair, I believe, to frame the value of higher education as a political issue. And that hasn't always been the case. Higher education for decades, for centuries, was a path that people took in life to get a fulfilling life. Now higher education has become political. There are many who believe that people in higher education have one perspective, and that's a liberal perspective. There are people who believe when you say the liberal arts that it's a political statement and not about the liberal arts as a concept. We need to explain that. The reality is, the facts are that if you look at the composition of the faculty at many of the research universities, and probably at many universities overall, people tend to be more liberal in terms of the political ideology. I've been very intent to make sure, because that's true at Emory, to make sure that everybody has a voice. This goes partly to difficult conversations, it goes partly to diversity and inclusion. At the end of the day, they all come together somehow. And if I may give an example, I met with a group of young Republicans. And it started because they had put a Twitter out where they publicized my political contributions, which were from quite a while ago, because I realized I didn't want that to be in social media. And I reached out, and we got together. And we went from distrust and a divide to having a conversation about them acknowledging that they're actually afraid to speak up, that they're afraid to be labeled, because it seems that they are a minority. So instead of having a conversation about different political ideologies and where we might agree and disagree, and we actually agree much more than they realized, it ended up being a conversation about inclusion. And it was quite telling that by the time they left my office, they wanted to take a picture, and they posted it with the same Twitter account that they used to post the earlier tweet about me. In talking with the young Republicans, I found myself reflecting on the conversations I had with our DACA students. And it was actually a shared experience that I did not realize, had not thought about before, because both groups, if I may call them group, were talking and very concerned about the fact that they were worried that they would be stigmatized, that they didn't fit in, that they wouldn't be respected. They had a sense of fear. They had a desire to belong. And I did not realize that I could be talking about such different challenges, such different differences, with the underlying factors being the same. And this goes back to something that we talk a lot about. That's understanding people. Realizing the differences of opinions that we have in society, that we have on our campus. We could approach this intellectually and say, we're going to teach you all the skills to get it right, to get a meaningful conversation. One could walk through that, and somebody could check off every box and have done. I've asked the right questions, I've looked for evidence, I have listened. But there's one part that we should not forget, and that is teaching the power of empathy. Empathy doesn't mean you agree, but it does mean I listen to you, I respect you, and I will embrace you as a member of this same community.